And aloha! Welcome to the Blue Note Fan Report. I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and I'm your host on the only program that is by a fan for the fan and absolutely and aloha! Welcome to the Blue Note Fan Report. I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and I'm your host on the only program that is by a fan for the fan and absolutely about you, the fan.
So are you Guy or Guy?
Ed Danowski.
You're not in Hawaii?
I wish.
To Mr. Gary Younger.
Hi, Guy.
Hey, sir, how are you?
And Brock, how are you doing?
Doing great, sir. Doing great. Honored to have you on the show.
Oh, crap. Talk about things happening the wrong way. So, aloha! Welcome to the Blue Note Fan Report. I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and I'm your host on the show that is by a fan for a fan, and you got to know all about you guys, the fans. Yes, that is absolutely true. It's late in the Lou. It is 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock now. This is going to be a fun show. Fun show. Please make sure share this out because I'm not alone. In 1980, 81 season, the St. Louis Blues were stacked. I mean stacked. 10 20-goal scorers. You know one of them, Mike Zook. We've talked to him. He bops in from time to time. I've been eating a hot dog sandwich, a St. Louis special. Absolutely amazing. Share this into hockey history. Share this in the lounge. Let's get all these people up as I bring on one of those 20-goal scorers. This is a great Blue. Please give a huge St. Louis Blues and Blue Note Fan Report welcome to Mr. Tony Currie. Hey,
Thanks.
Tony, how are you doing today, sir?
Just great. Great to be here.
Yeah, well, I'm having a little bit of video issues right now, but we're catching up. My internet's acting funny on me. It does that from time to time. So I do apologize to you. So let's get into this, your career and hockey and all that. So how are you doing, sir? How are you doing right now?
Oh, doing very well. Still play a little bit of hockey. Get out there. Actually, Connor McDavid's father, Brian, plays with us up here where I live in Ontario.
You're kidding me. Connor McDavid's father plays with you.
Yeah, Brian lives up this way. And Connor's spent a lot of time up in this way in his summers over the years. So I don't know Connor, but his father played with us this year, and he's a heck of a hockey player too.
Oh wow! So maybe you could bend a little ear here and there, and during the off season, get McDavid on my show. That would be cool. That would be really cool. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. So I was looking back. I'm a huge fan of this 80-81 team. All right, what a team you guys were. 107 points, second in the league. You had a heck of a series against both the Penguins and the Rangers. Took the Penguins took you 5. You took the Rangers 6, or vice versa, however you want to say it. What do you remember from those days?
Oh God, lots of memories from those days, and certainly a lot of the guys from that team still reside in St. Louis, and for good reason. It's a great city, great sports town. But I mean, if you want to talk about the playoffs, I remember the double overtime game and Mike Crump coming off the bench. He hadn't played in a couple of periods, and coming off the bench and scoring the winning goal. And actually, Mike Zook mentioned set that goal up. So certainly great memories from that. But I think more importantly, I think the memories were of that season. I think we had a motto that year that we talked about. We just didn't want to lose anymore. We didn't want to ever lose 3 games in a row. And I think we did a good job that year. And a lot of guys had a good hand in that. Mike Liu, probably as much as anybody.
Who were some of your favorite guys on that team?
I mean, they're just a great bunch, period. But, Brian Sutter, Bernie, Federico, Barry Turnbull, Zuki, Blake Dunlop, great guys. They're just in. And we just lost this year. We lost Ralph Klassen, just this past winter. I could go on and on.
Oh, Brian I didn't know that.
Yeah. So a lot of great guys. I mean, it was just it was a tight knit group for Blair Chapman. I go on, I could name them all, but they were all great guys. It was a fun season. It really was.
Oh, well, let me ask you this. I'm sorry, I've got a couple things I'm trying to do here. I apologize to you, sir.
No problem.
With Bob Plager just recently passing, what are some of the memories you have of him?
Oh, some great memories of Bob and Bark. When I started out, the Blues farm team was in Salt Lake City. So, shortly before I got called up my first year, Bobby came down. Bark got called up to replace Leo Boyven. And Bobby came down. So before I actually got called up to St. Louis, I played a game in Tulsa, and Bobby was a player coach. So he was behind the bench. And it wasn't until the end of that game we got to realize, with Bob's humor, he kept coming down and asking us what the time was. I guess that's when we realized that he was nearsighted and he couldn't see the time clock. So, but just like an amazingly humorous guy, just not just funny, but he knew the game well. He loved St. Louis. I mean, he lived and breathed St. Louis. I had the opportunity to bring Bob down to when I was living in Eastern Canada several years ago now. Bob came down and was a guest speaker at an event for us down there. And of course, his tremendous sense of humor, held the night. I mean, certainly nobody was ever bored when Bobby was in the room. I mean, he's just a great sense of humor. Just a great guy.
Did you ever lose your tie?
No, but I witnessed some do it. Yeah.
You witnessed it. You were smart. You were one of the smart ones that didn't fall asleep, right?
That was the key. Yeah.
Yeah, not to fall asleep. So we got some questions coming in for you. Ryan Green wants to know if you're part of the NHL in some way behind the scenes or in any connection right now.
Yeah. I've done a lot. I know you had Ed Staniowski on recently, and Ed's been somebody that I stay in touch with, and I've had opportunity to go overseas. We've taken the Stanley Cup over. I've gone over, I guess 8 times now, and had the opportunity. It's a tremendous honor to start with.
Oh,
but, Sorry.
Yeah.
He told a story about that. He told a story about the cup going over there, and one of the ball hockey players, that was seeing the cup wearing his Leaf jersey, saying that this was the year the Leaf was going to say, and some guy down the line goes, "What are you talking about? The Talonman's got a better chance of winning the cup this season." Well, wait a minute. Here you go, Tony. Tony, here you go.
There's Duke.
Mike Zook says, "Say hi, Tony. Say hi to Tony for me."
Great teammate.
Zuki, I'm going to send you a link, and we'll bring you in, buddy. I'll send you a link on Facebook, and we'll bring you in, and you can talk to Tony yourself. You cool with that, Tony?
Oh, absolutely. Love to talk to you.
I know we got a little audio delay here.
No problem.
Okay, and on the side there, Tony, that's Brock Banner. That's my co-host. Brock,
hey, Brock,
you can ask Tony a few questions while I try and get Zuki set up.
Sure.
Zuki, we're waiting for you, buddy.
I'm local here in St. Louis, and again, appreciate you coming on with us. A lot of excitement about the team this year. Again, when you were playing here in St. Louis in the 80s, hockey was really a madhouse. We had some great games. What were some of your memories, going up against the Blackhawks or the arena and just going in that building? I mean, you had to feel the energy. What were some of your memories?
Some of my greatest memories are just, how amped up you would be coming down that runway before you got on the ice, and when the Saints come marching in playing, and it it was a special arena because you could have 5,000, you could have 6,000, you could have 20,000. It didn't matter. That rink echoed. I mean, it was I've been played all those years in my career in Chicago. I mean, Chicago was loud, but mostly because of the organ. It was still a loud arena, but there was no arena that compared to St. Louis as far as crowd noise. It was built for hockey. Great arena. Had great times there, for sure.
Do you remember the Christmas carols in Chicago? Do you remember them playing Christmas carols in Chicago?
Oh yeah.
Ed Sadowski told us about that.
Yeah. Well, that was a big rivalry, as you know, and that started well before my time. Chicago St. Louis was it was always relatively interesting, I guess would be the easiest way to say it. They were generally hard fought battles against the Hawks.
Sure. And again, I mean, talk about the North Stars. I mean, you talk about, the North Stars had a great tradition there. I mean, you guys definitely earned everything that you made back in those days, playing some real tough hockey. So, again, you talk about, playing with Connor McDavid or Connor McDavid's father, excuse me. Get that.
Yes.
Who else are you still keeping up with, and who else you kind of run around with? You talk about Ed Snowden, great guy.
Well, I see Eddie and Neil Labatt, who played with us and mostly in our minor league team, but Neil played I think 20-odd games in St. Louis as well. Those are a couple of old friends, and so I stay in touch with them. A lot of it because we've done these alumni trips across overseas to see the troops.
Yeah.
And of course we all live in the same. We're not too far apart as well up here in Ontario. But when I moved up here from Eastern Canada, I got pretty close to Mark Napier and Mike Pellick and some guys that were at that time running the NHL alumni. Mm-hmm. And so I stay in touch with those guys. Get a few games of golf here and there, and if there's events that I can participate, we still play a game. Well, pre-COVID, we played a game against the troops every year at the center there in Toronto. But obviously with the pandemic, we're not doing that right now. But anytime I can get in and join in and certainly get an opportunity to see some old teammates, it's always a pretty special time.
Great, it's great.
I saw Zuki mentioned.
You know what? I just got. Hold on. Oh, my camera's doing this. So Zuki says that he doesn't want to steal your thunder and he'll call you later. But you know what? This is set it up. So I'm going to set up on an off game night. We'll get you and Zook on together. And if we maybe we can get Larry Patey, because I've been trying to get him. I'll see if I can. Maybe we can do, and I've been thinking about this, doing a reunion show with as many of the 80-81 team as I can get. Right? Well, going to need your guys' help with that a little bit, because I haven't been able to get I haven't been able to talk to Federko yet. I haven't been able to talk to Brian yet. But I think with some help, we can do a really good reunion show with all you guys. I think that would be great. You talked about the singing of When the Saints Go Marching In. When you heard that, when you're coming down that tunnel and you hear that, 18,000 people or 15,000, whatever it was in that arena, I think it was close to 18,000. When you heard that and that building starts to shake, what's going through your mind? And I know it's not, we got to play a hockey game.
Well, it actually is. It actually is. It's funny as players, you have that moment when you're getting on the ice and you're getting your game face on and whatnot. But once the game starts, you'll hear the crowd noise, but you're really into what's going on the ice. But without question, I mean, that arena, and I believe they actually held close to 20,000. I think it was not, because I know the largest crowd in the league up until Joe Louis was built was in St. Louis. It was a St. Louis Flyers game, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't hard to get amped up. It really wasn't. And you certainly remember all the guys came before you. Bart Plager, Red Berenson, all those guys. I had opportunity to play with some of those guys, but I got to watch them before I played. In the NHL, and it was pretty special to get out there and play with them.
Yeah, Mike says you were one of his favorite right wingers, and I love Mike. I absolutely love Mike. He's a great guy. Been on the show like 3 or 4 times now. He'll jump in the chat room. That's how down to earth he is, and that. I'm in awe of all you guys. I really am. You guys played in what I call the golden age of blues hockey. right? And what a lot of people don't understand, you guys had some of these, you had ups and downs in your Federico, Sutter, yourself, Larry Patey, Wayne Babbage, Mike Liu. I mean, you're talking about guys that if they're not in the Hall of Fame, they should be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, for sure. I mean, Bernie's
also guys that, just say again.
I'm sorry. You
lost
broke
you there
up
for a second. Sorry.
No, you just broke up for a bit there, Guy. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
I was just okay. Yeah, my internet's being kind of funky on me right now, so I do apologize a bit. You played in a time that I consider the golden age of Blues hockey. I mean, this was when you had some of the greatest players that have played the game come through St. Louis, right? You had Federico, you had Sutter, Liu, yourself, Zucker, Larry Patey, Wayne Babbage, and the list just goes on and on. And then the guys that were coming through from the other teams playing, I think at this time in 80 was I'm scratching my foot here. Was Gordie Howe still playing in 80? I think he was.
Yeah, Gordie was playing he was in Hartford.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, Gordie was
in Hartford. So you're playing with all of that, and you got Bobby Hull still. Well, Bobby might have been right at the end of his career by that point.
Yeah, I think Bobby retired before before they came back into the NHL.
Yeah, Mike Bossy
before they came back in the NHL.
Mike Bossy was the big points leader.
Yeah. Mike Bossy and I are the same vintage. We were drafted the same year, so
okay.
Bossy, and then those were the we kind of came in, and Zuki would appreciate this, but then we kind of come in when at the tail end of the Montreal Canadiens dynasty, and LaFleur and Shutt and those guys, and then we pretty well lived through the whole Islander dynasty with Bossy, Trottier, Potvin, and that crew. And then at the tail end was, just when Wayne and Mark and team were just beginning to make their name, in the early days of the Oilers, so to speak. So, and then Zuki and I ended up connecting together and being teammates after St. Louis back in down in Hartford with the Whalers. And Eddie Staniowski as well.
And you guys lost to the Rangers.
Ed was such a.
I was going to say that you guys lost to the Rangers that year in the playoffs. That had to been, you guys win the first round and had to go up against the Rangers. Yeah. What about that experience?
Oh, it was tough. I mean, they had a big physical team. We had we had a lot of guys that were had some career years. We like you say, we had 10, 20 goal scorers, right? So we had a lot of depth. They got some good goaltending, got some timely scoring. Stuff that happens in sometimes special teams, some things happen. Certainly would have liked to seen us go a little longer, but it was certainly a memorable playoff nonetheless. It's certainly a memorable for sure.
Well, with that playoff, now that's when the NHL just took the 16 best teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter what you were in your division; it was the 16 best teams in the league. Right? Hey, I got another special guest. Finally got through this. This is Ben Fisher from the Hockey Writers for the Vegas Golden Knights. Ben,
gentlemen, how you doing?
Brock up above. I'm Guy, and this is former Blue Tony Currie. So
hi, Ben.
Welcome to the show, Ben.
Good to be here. Good to see you, gentlemen. How we doing? Sorry for being late.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Sorry about the miscomms earlier.
How you guys feeling at that tough overtime win last night? You guys feeling pretty good about yourselves?
You know what? We're in a good space right now. I mean, we still got Colorado nipping at our heels, but right now I feel like I mean we certainly no offense to you guys, but I think right now we'd take a matchup with you guys over the Wild, given the way things are going. But we're running 4 lines pretty deep. We've got a good blue line. Both of our goalies are playing well, so things are looking good coming into the next few weeks.
It's great. You guys look great last night, though. You really did.
Hey, let me ask this.
There's a lot of fun games between us and the Blues. I mean, I know we own the 5-1-1 record this year, but been a few games have been pretty damn competitive. It's been a tough go.
Sure. Ben, Tony played for the Blues in the 80s, and great guys.
So what do you think of this season so far there, Tony? What do you – oh, sorry.
Well, I mean,
we're having some talk over. Hey, guys, just so you know, my internet's lagging, so it's hard to hear me sometimes.
We're working through it.
Yeah. No, it's unique. It's a unique year because I only get to see the North Division up here in Canada, so we've kind of been dealing with that, and then occasionally, we'll I catch the highlights obviously, and certainly stayed in touch with enough guys. And then just before I forget, I don't know if you know Darren Millard. Do you know Darren? Yeah,
absolutely, sir.
Say hello to Darren for me, because Darren and I went to Afghanistan a few years back together. Good guy, and I know he's having a great time down there with your Vegas with the Knights. So say hello.
Oh, that's right. I guess he was at Sportsnet before, and
yes, exactly. Yeah.
So as you guys are rolling into the playoffs, you're looking at four teams: the Avalanche, the Wild, and the Blues. It's kind of a gauntlet this time of year. The Blues are playing well. The Knights have been just excellent all year. The Colorado's obviously getting great scoring. The Wild, we've played well against them. You guys haven't played well. So how do you see that postseason shaking out in the West, Ben?
Well, I don't see an easy series out there. I mean, the Wild are obviously the pardon the pun, but the wild card. We don't know quite what Kaprizov is going to look like come playoff time, and they're a bit of an unknown, a bit of a young group, and so it's tough to see if they're going to be able to carry all that momentum from the regular season into when the game changes a little bit, as Tony knows well. But I mean, certainly with St. Louis, I mean, I know we've got Petro over on our side now, but otherwise you've got a lot of battle tested, a lot of guys from the Cup from a couple of years ago that are still there. So you certainly know what you need to do.
Yeah. And David Perron has been just great for us, and I know he's been great for you guys, and just really a really heart and soul kind of guy. And Tony, when you watch this year's team, who are some of these heart and soul guys that you're seeing that are coming to the surface? Maybe guys that are outside the headlines that you're seeing.
Well, I mean, I think up here most of the guys are in the headlines. I mean, literally, it's a highlight reel every night watching Matthews and Marner in Toronto, and it's a highlight reel every night turning on McDavid and Drysdale. So those are not hard games to pay attention to. It's been a tough year. I mean, in terms like Vancouver went through a heck of a not unlike Dallas at the start of the year, getting nailed with COVID as they did, and it made the second part, this last half of the year pretty tough for them.
Yep.
Some of the guys that have shone up, there's some young fellas that are coming up. Certainly in Toronto, they've got a couple of young D men that have been kind of making their way, and I think they could play a part in the playoffs for them. It's going to be a different game, though. I mean, I think we all know that when we begin playing, against the teams south of the border, it'll be a different tilt. A lot of running gun up here, so it'll be interesting to see how we handle the playoff hockey and how tight it gets. But usually goaltending and special teams usually kind of spell out who's going to win in the playoffs. So see how that goes.
Mr. Currie, where are you right now?
Tony got a question for you.
I'll ask Ben. I'll answer Ben first. But, Ben, I live just north of.
Okay, go ahead.
North of Toronto. Yeah, I live just north of Toronto, up in a town called Meaford, Ontario, which is a few hours north of Toronto. So, yeah.
So this question comes from Ashley Jones. Tony, who did you look up to in your playing years?
Gosh, I mean, several. Bark Plager, for sure. Bark was like a father to guys like Bernie and Brian, myself, as we came along. Bark was, I don't have enough words to say how highly I thought of Bark. We had a lot of good veterans in my first years, Jimmy Roberts and Bobby Plager, obviously. Red Berenson and Ungie. Ungie was, I remember Ungie taking me in training camp. We were in Port Huron and, taking me to a grocery store saying, like, don't go into any of those junk food stores, pick up some bananas and fruits and stuff like that, things that you appreciate as a young fellow starting out. As far as favorite players, I was a big Gordie Howe fan, and I was a big Darryl Sittler fan. So those are two of my favorites.
Great.
Wow. Jim Siegel, I think he may know you or you may know him. He says, welcome, Tony. Hey, everybody. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan. You're watching the Blue Note Fan Report on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I am having some Wi-Fi difficulties. I do apologize for that. We're sponsored today by Forrest Crump Enterprises, War Stories Coffee, Mike Zook Enterprises, and don't forget, Dan Brown Chevrolet. If you need to get a Chevy in St. Louis, he's the man, the myth, and the legend. Check out Dan Brown Chevrolet. Yes, sir.
Gotta
Mother's
say,
Day.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms.
Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there.
Give it up for all.
Absolutely.
That's my mom right back up there in that photo.
Right? Absolutely. Happy Mother's Day.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
Say
you. We got
again?
a lot of moms on our fan board. We want to make sure we give them the support they give us.
Sure.
Hey, Ben,
Rooster says, see you on the golf course.
Oh, there we go. Let's get it started early. I like it.
Now, I mean, there was the fact that the Blues kind of did own the Golden Knights for 10 games straight until the beginning of the season. You know, you guys had some problems here. So kind of interesting to see how this is all shook. You know, the tables turned. You guys obviously took it to us this year. You know, it's really going to be anybody's ball game at the end of the year. I'm really interested to see how it would shake out.
And the game's going to change so much. So, I mean, maybe he's right. Maybe I'm going to be eating my words pretty soon. But either way, it should be a fun series, assuming that's what comes to be.
That's why they call it the second season.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. See, I looked at last night's game a lot differently than you did, Ben. And we had your counterpart on last night, and I said, hey, you guys, he said, well, I don't think we played very well. And I said, yeah, well, how much of that was the Blues defense? The Blues defense last night was absolutely stifling. They really had you guys confused for a good portion of the game. And basically only one of your goals was a pretty solid goal, but there was traffic in front of the net that created that goal. Otherwise, it was all junk goals. For sure. Other than the overtime, and that's a different story. But I'm talking.
Yeah, you could really the first tell where we're at in the season. I agree.
Say again.
Oh, I was saying just the physicality was really at peak level last night, and you could really tell where we're at in the season right now. Like, I mean, both of those guys wanted those 2 points, and that's why I say it was a fun game. But yeah, certainly could have gone either way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's just, I mean, you came in and you were so like, oh, we played really good last night, and we did. And I'm like, oh, hold on a second. I think the Blues had a lot to do with how you played last night. And this is going to be, I'm sorry, this is going to be a good series. And this, you know what series this reminds me of? I want to say 92, 93 Blues Blackhawks.
Okay.
That series went 7 games, was a punching and a fighter, and it was game 7 where in Chicago Stadium that the Blackhawks finally blew the Blues away. But that was a beat 'em up. And then you also look at let's just say, for instance, that, you know, it's Blues Knights in that first round. It could easily go 7 games. You look at Detroit and St. Louis when Detroit went back in 25 years ago, right, Brock? 25 years ago when Detroit and the Stevie Y blue shot.
Here, buddy. I'm on you, burn yourself, because I tell you, the Blues, they don't have the defense, man. We know it. We got guys who are hurt. We got young guys putting in place. Petro, we miss his long reach. So, you know, I wanna believe. You know I do. But realistically, I mean, you guys are just potent offensively. You got goal scorers like all over your lineup. I just really think it's going to be a handful for the Blues. And Tony, jump in and correct me, you know, if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not seeing it right.
Well, as I said, they call it a second season for a reason. So goaltending and special teams will tell the tale. Depth is going to be key at playoff time. I think Vegas has got to. I mean, I actually said Vegas is one of the teams that at the outset start of the season be one of the teams to watch, along with Colorado. You know, they've been there before, so I think they'll have learned from the first time through. And but as I say, you know, you get a hot goalie. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen a hot goalie carry a team. I was in Vancouver one year when Richard Brodeur, you know, took us all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, and everybody played well, but Richard was certainly the key. So, and of course, I've got to put my Blues hat on here, Ben. So I'm hoping that goaltending gets really hot for St. Louis.
I know who I'm talking to here, gentlemen. Yeah, absolutely. But and you know what? I mean, there's no sure thing in Vegas either. In the between the pipes, I mean, we've still got a tandem situation. Fleury's been spectacular for us this year, and Lehner seems to be coming on. But this certainly wasn't expected from Fleury so far, and we're all sort of wondering when the glass slipper is going to fall off, so to speak. And if he really did, I mean, he's had a whole lot more workload than what we were expecting this year. Obviously, with the Lehner injury and the fact that he's played so well, and he's handled himself pretty well. The numbers are sort of sagging off a little bit at this point, but obviously, we forget everything pretty quickly when playoffs are over. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he's a class act. Fleury's a class act. No joke about it. Yeah.
One of the.
Hey, Tony, can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure.
Do you have any headphones? We're getting a little bit of feedback from your side, and it might help out a little bit.
Okay, let me see.
I apologize, sir.
No problem. No, I haven't.
And while you're doing that, Jim Siegel wants to know if you ever get back to St. Louis and play with the alumni. He says pre-COVID, of course.
Yes, no. I got back, but it was a long time. Back in I think around 94. I know it was around 94 because Ed Kia was still with us in those days, and they were still at the old arena. Now, is that any better?
There you go. That's
much better.
Nice and clear.
Sorry, then maybe I was the problem all along. Was that okay?
Sorry. No, it's I mean, my internet's still kind of bad, but that we were getting just that feedback, and I wasn't 100% sure it was coming from you. But as you were talking, it went away, so that's when I figured it out. So I do apologize about that.
Yeah,
no problem. Yeah. No problem.
But Ben, I was going to ask you. You know, the guy who scored the winning goal last night, Jonathan Marchessault. I mean, I think he's just I think he's a tremendous player. I know he gets a little overshadowed, you know, with Mark Stone and Pat Chiaretti and name your sniper. But how's that guy been perceived down there? I know he came from Florida. And what do you guys are thinking of Marchessault this year?
Well, I mean, he's a guy that makes Pete DeBoer's job so much easier. I mean, between him, Riley Smith, and William Karlsson, you've got three guys that night after night you go out there, you know what you're getting in a second line, and just shift after shift, they know each other well. They can play the grit game. They can forecheck. They can score a few goals for you. They're two-way players, and Marchessault, and on top of what he brings on the ice, he's also a character guy, just sort of the life of the party. And I know that in COVID times, when there have certainly been some frustrating times or boring times, there's not a whole lot going on. I know that he's been right at the center of the fun. I know the Knights actually had they had sort of a makeshift social committee they set up. I think that was back in the playoff bubble last year. And of course he had his fingerprints all over that one. So Marchie is not just a fan favorite, but he's a player favorite in Vegas.
No. So the guy lives in Hawaii. So his signal's going across the ocean, just so you guys know. That's why he's my
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Here's a good question here. How do Ben feel about that stone hit on Bozak back in the middle and in the beginning of the season? How do you feel about that? What did you think about that?
I mean, I'll defend my boy all the time. I should tell you just to be fully upfront here that I cover the Knights, but I actually bleed blue and white, to be honest. I'm a diehard Leafs fan from birth. I was a Toronto guy growing up, and Bozy was one of my favorite players. So so I certainly still have some attachment there. The stone hit, I didn't see anything too egregious. I definitely agree that I don't think, if memory serves, I don't think it was even called. I don't think, did he get
Yeah, he got a 2-minute roughing for that.
Oh, he did get the roughing.
Sorry. He got a 2-minute roughing, but he left his skates.
Yeah, he got off.
He left his skates.
Yeah. I mean, he came in.
He took a punch. He missed, and then he leaped off his skates and nailed Bozak, and the league didn't do anything about it. Tony, I know in your day that was common, but guys didn't leave their feet, did they?
Yeah, no, they did. But I mean, we were going at a little bit different speed too. So, you got, the game's changed tremendously. So I won't get into that topic, but yeah, guys left their feet for sure. I mean, you talk about the two Plager brothers. They definitely knew how to catch you with your head down, right? But
yeah.
But I mean, in this day and age, when they're going so fast, I mean, head hits. They've taken that out of the game, and for good reason.
And
Ben,
you
imagine?
Those are good. I just said the reason why I bring up that is because that took Tyler Bozak out of our lineup, and he was really a key player and really ran that second line, really brought some veteran leadership. And boy, that hit took him out for half the season, and that really I thought really was the reason why we struggled. Now, guys thinks I'm a little bit more of a fanboy about Tyler Bozak, but I just love the guy. I think he brings it every day, and I just appreciate, like the goal last night was all him. He hustled, he got the puck, got to O'Reilly. So I like the guy a lot. So I'm with you.
Oh no, I'm on the Bozak bus. I am. I'm just not on the Bozak at $6 million or more bus.
Of course.
Yeah,
right? At 36 years old, at 36 years old, he's not worth $5.5 million. I'm sorry. He's not. And especially if he wants a 2 or 3 year contract. He's not worth $15 million.
I spend the Blues money as best I can. I spend it out as much as I can. I love it.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. I think Bozak at $3 million a year. Okay. Bozak at 2.5. Okay. 3.5, maybe not. Maybe, let's see what the clauses are, but I'm on the Bozak bus. Tony, I got to ask you this. So when you played, you played just before the salaries hit that skyrocket mark. How do you feel about, how the salaries progressed during your career?
Oh, well, I mean, I think, you could go right back. I mean, we would make a lot more money than Gordie Howe and the guys in his era when they started out. I mean, they've certainly gone to a different level now, but, I'm all for the players getting what they can. And, so I think, because I certainly know the owners can make, maybe not right now in COVID, but they certainly can make a good dollar too. As long as what everybody's doing out there to, puts a good product on for the fans, I think it's great. I mean, there's some tremendous talent out there. It's pretty exciting to watch some of the skills that are, some of the hand skills I get to see. As I say, I get a lot of Leaf games, and I see Matthews and Marner do some pretty things that are worth $1, I guess, if that's the market going market. But no hard feelings on my side. I love watching the game, so I'm all for it.
So I'm going to throw this question at you. You're watching the Leafs. I got a Leafs fan up here. Is Matthews the Hart Trophy candidate or recipient this year?
Well, he's definitely in the running. I mean, you'll have McDavid. I mean, there's a few guys you can put in there, right? I mean, I know. I mean, you got McKinnon, you got for sure McDavid. I mean, Dreisaitl's maybe not had the year he had last year, and honestly, Marner in Toronto has had a hell of a year as well. Brad Marchand's had a heck of a year. I mean, there's a lot of guys you can put in that equation. But I think it's probably going to. My opinion is it probably will come down to the Matthews and McDavid. That's my opinion.
Well, I had that same question.
Yeah, I'm close to that.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was just going to say that I had that question thrown at me from a reader just the other day about Mark Stone, and I sort of laughed. And I mean, you guys won't like to hear that about Stone, but I said having a great season, two-way threat, the captain of one of the top teams in the league. So on paper, sure, that looks great, but realistically, I mean, it's Connor McDavid's world, and we're all living in it right now.
Yeah. I mean, doing what he's doing, he's gonna get 100 points in a 56 game season, and while Matthews getting 40 whatever goals in a 56 game season is really impressive. I don't know. I mean, I could tell you what I would like to see. It's almost like they could split it. But McDavid, he's a highlight reel every time I watch him. And he never, like a lot of the good superstars, he doesn't take a night off. He's going all the time.
Yeah. See, for me, and maybe, I didn't play the game. I'll admit that. But for me, what I see is, for the most part, and maybe this season's an offshoot, but it never seems like he raises guys up around him like Gretzky used to do. It never seems like it always seems like it's the one-man show, and he doesn't make people better. Now, this season, I will say that it looks like he's starting to, but up until this point, I don't think I've seen it. Maybe I'm wrong. You played the game, Tony, so maybe you see it differently than I do.
Yeah, I would have to argue with you on that one, Guy. He does make everybody around him better. I mean, the thing is, and I played against Wayne, and they call him a great one for a reason. But there were several Hall of Famers on that team, and I don't think you see that. Maybe with Drysdale being the exception in Edmonton today. So I think the two of them, him and Drysdale, really do carry the load there. What's his name? Barry's had a much better year this year in Edmonton, and I think of what the year was like for him in Toronto last year. I don't think he has much different year in Toronto this year. If he was here, he's had a heck of a year in Edmonton and I would attribute a lot of that to McDavid for sure, along with his own skills.
So there's a couple questions. Yeah, there's a couple questions in the room I want to get to you. So, and it's both basically, one is Matthews is having a great season against only Canadian teams. Hard to say what it would be. It would be the same if the U.S. teams were involved. And then the other one that kind of goes with that is, do you think Canadian teams will play well against the rest of the league when the playoffs get that far?
Well, they're both good questions, and both questions. I mean, as somebody that watches the game a lot, that I ask myself, because I know, Toronto, we've always struggled with Boston, in a large way, but they've got a pretty rounded squad this year. I think the veterans they brought in, they're not going to get run out of a rink anymore, for sure. I mean, with Simmons and Jumbo and those guys coming in, the dressing room seems really solid. There's an unsung guy. Maybe if there's an unsung player award in the league, even though he's injured right now, but Zach Hyman is worth the price of admission on most nights. They will definitely have to change their game somewhat to come up against the Bostons, the Washingtons, the Las Vegases and St. Louis of the world for sure. But I think they've got the ability and the physicality this year that they can manage that. That's my view anyway. But I think it will be a change for them for sure, no question.
And if I could offer my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree. Right. So so who's your sleeper team out of the league that you think could win a cup this year that no one's talking about?
So
go ahead, man.
Okay, sure. I mean,
go ahead, Tony.
I think it's been a couple of years now that you haven't heard anything. You haven't heard nearly enough about the Islanders, and I mean, they don't have the top line starry names necessarily, but just the amount of depth and how they're built for playoff hockey. I feel like one of these years they're going to surprise everybody, and I mean, they really shouldn't, because Lamoriello's built one hell of a team there, and just, again, 4 lines deep, a gritty group, and I know they've given Vegas fits in the few times that we've played them, and just a lot of talent there too.
Yeah, I sometimes I think with my heart, and I've got some friends still in the game, but I've been paying close attention to Florida this year, and they've got a real solid team. And telling me my battery's running low. I don't know why that would be. Anyway, yeah, I like the way they play. I like they've got 2 solid lines, and they played pretty well in front of their own net. So they would be a sleeper that I would. They wouldn't surprise me if they made their way through.
Yeah, and I'm going with Florida too. I've been really big. I think Coach Q was kind of the missing ingredient to bring that locker room together. And people I'm talking to down there say, you know, they're gelling right now. They're playing very well. So going to be interesting to see. Again, you know, I would not be surprised though if they make some noise. So.
Yeah.
Well, Tanner says, Mr. Currie, thank you for your insight tonight. Just to let you know that we love you. For me, and Ben's going to get mad, it's Minnesota. I don't know. Something about Minnesota, especially I think that they could shock and surprise the Avalanche if they play the Avalanche in the first round. And depending on what happens between St. Louis and Vegas, one of those two teams, whichever makes it, could be beat up. And they could make some. I could see them making the quote unquote conference finals or the third round very easily. They're kind of my sleeper team, my third place team. But if you look at the teams in fourth place, there's some damn good teams. You have the Predators. Okay, they're probably the bottom of that list. But then you have the Bruins, the Blues, and Montreal. You're talking about three teams that could make some noise from that fourth spot.
You can bet it. You can bet one of them will make it through. It happens that way every year. Some of the best hockey is always round one, and inevitably some really, really good hockey teams get knocked out. So, you know, if you look at all of those teams, I mean, you're right. Every one of those teams has got a shot, and they're not. I just think the sleepers are going to be more in the on the U.S. side, just because, you know, coming through those, especially your division, Vegas and Colorado and Minnesota. That's maybe the toughest division, maybe the strongest division this year in the game. So, hence I took Florida, because I think they might have a little bit, you know, bit easier of a time on that side. But it's going to be interesting. I always love the first round.
Hey, Guy.
Well, here's something for you Leaf guys.
Yeah, just let them know. The news, breaking news.
The Leafs just clinched first. Breaking news! The Leafs just clinched first, and I don't care.
First time in 21 years.
No, I do. Somebody said the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Maple Leafs, I see that.
I get a chuckle out of the idea that after 54 years or whatever it's been, of course, it would be this weird COVID pandemic season where that they may finally break through. But I guess. I mean, I think that the nature of this season leaves a whole hell of a lot of unpredictability. And so when you talk about sleepers and you talk about that third round crossover, there's just so many unknowns at this point that it's going to be a pretty fun run here.
Yeah. No, I agree, Ben. And that lady in that picture up there, my mother, who's no longer with us, was maybe the biggest Leaf fan I knew. And I always wondered whether she hoped for me or them when we played against them. So I'm sure she'll be up there, rooting them on for sure.
Here's a good question for you, Tony. Do you think that today's players are as fast or faster than Ron Richard, the Rocket Richard?
Was it Rocket Richard or Ronnie Flockhart? I thought I saw something say Ron Flockhart.
Ronnie Flockhart. I'm sorry, I read it wrong. Yeah. Ron Flockhart. Okay.
Yeah, and I know Flocky. I played against Flocky, and we actually ended up connecting over in Europe years later. So I knew him well. The Flocky could skate in today's game, but a lot of us probably couldn't. But Flocky definitely had those kind of wheels for sure. He could go.
Well, before we get any further, I got to do a little bit of business. I run a pick'em contest in my group and on my website. And when I have a special guest, I let my special guest pick. So I'm going to let Mr. Tony Currie pick my pick. So I'm going to bring that up here in just a second, guys. So I do apologize. Stand by while I handle the business side of this fun job that I get to do every day.
Got $1 billion production budget for this show. And I know it shows.
Yeah, I wish.
$1 billion. Just we're getting there, though. We
got all of about $9. Okay, so here's our pick'em contest. You go to stlfanreport.com. You come over here to contest, the second button down right there. You get to the page. These are some of the prizes you can win. I'm going to get to my pick. You come in, you enter your email address. I've already got mine kind of set up. And enter your first and last name. Please keep it the same. Unlike somebody here who keeps messing it up on me. Pick a group. If you don't have one, click other. Okay, Mr. Currie, who's winning tonight? The Blues or the Knights?
Well, without doubt, it's going to be the Blues. Sorry about that, Ben, but that's where I'm going.
Okay. And what do you think the Blues will score?
I look, these are two strong defensive teams, so I don't think it'll be a big number. I think we're looking at I think it'll be 4-2 with an empty net goal.
4-2. And who's your pick on the Blues to get the most points tonight?
Well, I'd have to go with O'Reilly. He's just too consistent.
O'Reilly, O-R-R-O-R. There you go. Click submit. Make sure it. Sometimes you have to do it twice. Let's see if mine goes through. There it goes, just like that, and you're all done. That's how you enter the Blue Note Fan Report, STL Fan Report Pick'em contest. Okay, sorry about that, guys. This is the Blue Note Fan Report on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I gotta say, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I'm joined by former Blue Tony Currie from the Hockey Writers with the Vegas Golden Knights, Ben Fisher, and my partner and co-host, Mr. Brock Banner. Okay, Brock, go ahead. Sorry about that, buddy.
No, I thought, we're getting close to game time. Let's start doing our keys to the game. Let's go around.
Yeah, let's go. It's on. You start it.
Well, I think, again, second period struggles. The Blues have shown, again, last night, they let the goal in at the end of the period. They just gotta kind of close those mistakes up. They've been letting these goals in at end of periods. Vegas they scored early in the third period. So I'd like to see them really close that down and just maybe calm down a little bit. But again, I picked Vegas to win 4-2, and I'm thinking our old man Mark Stone's going to have another day with us. Oh, yeah, that's about the sound of it.
And up top, bud.
That's me. I think it's really there's going to be a focus on the Vegas depth guys right now because we've gotten some production from our third line as of late, and they're really coming on. Nicholas Waugh has been excellent, and Alex Tuck's been scoring. So I think that that was an area of weakness for a lot of the season, and now they're sort of starting to gel, starting to figure it out. So I look for tonight a little more production out of those depth guys, and I think that if St. Louis can shut them down, then this could very well be a split right here. So, Mr. Currie, I think I'm with you on this one. I think we'll be glad to get the 2 points from last night out of this one.
Yeah. What are your expectations for tonight's game, Tony?
Well, I think at the end of the day, a fast start's going to be critical for St. Louis. We talked all night here already about the depth that Las Vegas has, so they're going to have to get a big game from Binnington and just keep turning that defense, the Vegas defense around. In other words, get that puck deep and get behind them and play back there. Because if it becomes a bit of a road race, I don't think that plays into the Blues' hands. So I think they're going to have to play that kind of a grinding game.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that I don't know. They played a little bit of foot race last night, and that's how that's kind of the Ryan O'Reilly goal came in. That's right. Husso's in net tonight. They took Binnington. They're giving Binnington a rest. I'm agree with that. I don't mind Husso being in the net. Let's see him do how he does against the big guys. Here's the thing: the Blues are stuck in fourth. The Knights could end up in second. I don't think they can end up in third, but they could easily end up in second. I know that's really close. So they could still slip from their spot. So for them, points are more important. They may play harder tonight, but I just see for them, I think this is the season. Is this their last game?
Don't think so.
Ben, is this their last game?
Sorry there, guy. I'm losing you a little bit, but yeah, they've they've still got Colorado's got a game or two in hand on them, and we're 4 points up right now. So there's a bit of a cushion there, but it's certainly still tight. And we've got not that we can look ahead from tonight, but we've got a big Monday night head-to-head against the Avs. So between tonight and that one, I think we're going to learn a lot about the pecking order in the West coming out of that.
Yep. Well, that's your last game on Monday night, right?
Nope, still one more after that.
Okay. So you still got 2 left. We've got 3 left. So
Okay.
after this, well, guys, this was a lot of fun. Games, we're getting close to game time. I want to thank each and every one of you. Tony, I apologize about the internet stuff, the problems we had tonight. I will set something up between you and Zucker. I'll get you guys on with just me and let you two go at it, and I'll just take myself out and let you guys have at each other. That'll be absolutely fun. The one-liners would be amazing. I can just see it now. But sir, any last words for your fans out there, my friend?
Well, look, I mean, I guess the one thing I just say is I have nothing but the very best of memories from St. Louis. Along with Zuki, I've got loads of teammates that are still stayed in the area. Certainly, I envy them that they were able to stay there. But the best wishes. Been a tough year with Bobby's passing, but I, in some ways, I think maybe that he's going to smile down on him and help him through this next little stretch. So, hoping the best for the Blues.
Oh, no, I will too. Hey, Ben, I do apologize about the miscommunication and not getting you more on. If we do meet in the playoffs, we will make sure that we get more on. So, again, I want to thank you for coming on. Any last words?
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. And, I feel like I have a pretty good feeling that we're going to be real sick of each other pretty soon. So.
Yeah. You know what? I won't mind it at all. I won't mind it at all. I will have a lot of fun. We're gonna be doing a pick'em we got 2 pick'em contests going. We're gonna do one for the writers, and then I'm gonna do one through the entire playoffs for my clan and the website. So we're working on that. We'll have information out about that next week. Brock, any words there, my friend?
Nope, just looking forward to a good game. Again, I like the big game atmosphere Saturday night in Las Vegas. I wish the place was full. I think we're getting there pretty soon. But again, that's hockey. Saturday night, big game. That's what it's all about.
Yep. So they're showing Marc-Andre Fleury has 490 wins. He's 3rd all time. He passed Longo. Patrick Waugh is at 2nd with 551, and Martin Brodeur is the gold standard at 691. That's going to be like Glenn Hall's 500 and 35 straight games he played at net. Yeah, that's going to be one of them records that I don't think ever going to be beaten.
Yeah, most of those are
right?
masks.
Well, guys, yeah, without a mask. Isn't that amazing? What those guys did back then? Just amazing, man. Well, guys, I am in absolute awe of all of you. Tony, I'll send you a message. We'll try and talk tomorrow a little bit or Monday and try and get something fixed out. Again, I do apologize about the technical difficulties. I hope you're not too upset with us.
No, not at all. No, I enjoyed it.
So this
Great
is
to see everybody.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. And you're always welcome on board. So, hey, everyone, this is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan for the Blue Note Fan Report saying aloha, mahalo, check out Forrest Crump Enterprises, War Stories Coffee, Mike Zook Enterprises, and Dan Brown Chevrolet. See you in a Chevy. This is Guy saying aloha, mahalo, and I cannot wait to see you on the first intermission show.